into some exercises to follow, and then Deborah's going to come up with some yoga and meditation at the end. So your pelvic floor is essentially a group of muscles that act kind of like a hammock or floor at the bottom, the base of your pelvis. So everything you see in red is part of your pelvic floor. So it has 5 main functions, the 5 S's. So support, it supports your organs. So your bladder, your rectum, your uterus, and even your abdominal cavity organs. It helps support your pelvis and your low back. So I see a lot of people that have been to PT before, like, I just have this terrible back pain, you know, nothing has helped. I've been to PT, I've been to chiro. And I find that a lot of times if we address the pelvic floor, that stuff is taken care of pretty quickly. So there's a big relationship between the two. It's like peanut butter and jelly, I like to say. They're very close anatomically and functionally. The next S is sump pump. So it acts as like a way to help lymphatics, your blood flow, and especially in the lower extremities coming up to the trunk. Sexual function, so it helps have enjoyable and pain-free intercourse. And then sump pump, sphincteric control, so controlling when you pee, poop, and pass gas, and when you don't want to. So those are the kind of just basic functions, and anytime one or more of those functions aren't working properly, we say that is a dysfunction. I don't like the word, but it is what it is. It's a dysfunction. So that's how we kind of look at things. Now, pelvic floor has a lot of connections to bony structures, as you can see around here. It also has a really, really deep connection with breath. Okay, and that's where I want to kind of focus most of our time today, is the connection of the pelvic floor with your breath. If you think about your central nervous system, your brain, you have kind of 2 branches, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic. So your parasympathetic is like the rest and digest when we're calm. Sympathetic is like the fight or flight mode. When things get kind of hairy, we got to go into fight mode, and then that can kind of ramp up, and prolonged onness of the central or the sympathetic nervous system can just lead into this cascade of events. So dysfunction of not just your pelvic floor, but just your body in general. Your emotional distress hikes up, your cortisol level hikes up, and then you kind of stay in this perpetual bad cycle. So if we can help kind of down-regulate the central nervous system via breath work, that's where I like to help down-regulate central nervous system, that can help kind of break the cycle and get us back onto a more positive, relaxing track, okay? So with breath, if you think about your diaphragm is the main inspiratory muscle. It lines your ribs, kind of like a dome shape. And it's very interesting, kind of backwards from what most of us might think, but as you inhale, your diaphragm actually relaxes and it goes down. It descends down into your abdominal cavity, creating a little bit more pressure here and more pressure in the pelvic floor. Interestingly enough, the pelvic floor moves with the diaphragm. So as your diaphragm relaxes, so does your pelvic floor. So it descends when the diaphragm descends to make a little bit more room to accept that increased pressure. And then conversely, when we exhale, diaphragm contracts, goes back up under our rib cage, and then pelvic floor does the same thing. So it moves like a piston, which is so cool because if you're breathing, your pelvic floor is moving, whether you realize it or not, which is awesome. So I like to start anyone who's having any type of pelvic floor dysfunction or wondering about the pelvic floor mobility, we start with breath because it's a very easy thing to breathe. Maybe not easy in the sense of diaphragmatic breathing, but it's we all know how to breathe. So this is where I'm going to ask you guys to lay down, get into a comfortable position onto your back. So your legs can be straight, your legs can be bent, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to kind of walk around and talk about this, and then while I'm doing this, if anyone has questions about, hey, am I doing this right, or I don't really feel right about this, just pop your hand up and I'll come over and help, okay? So what I first want you guys to do, put one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and just take a few normal breaths. Kind of take inventory of what's happening between your hands. Do you notice one hand is moving more than the other? Are they both moving the same? Or maybe you have no motion in your hands. You don't have to raise your hand or say, but if you feel motion in your chest area a little bit more, that's what we're calling as chest breathers, okay? So you have a lot of accessory breathing muscles up in your chest and neck area. Those are the muscles that kick on when we're in that fight or flight mode, okay? So we want our belly hand to be moving a little bit more and first, okay? So we're going to be very intentional about our breath for the next few minutes. So I want you guys to think about, as you inhale, think about pushing your belly and your hand up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, I want you to pretend you're blowing out birthday cake candles, okay? And pull your belly and your hand down towards the floor. Not sucking in, okay? Don't hollow out your stomach with air. I want you to really activate your deep core and pull that hand back down. Okay, so we're inhaling, pushing that hand and belly up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, pull that hand back down towards the floor. And you just go with your breath, okay? Inhaling, hand goes up. Exhaling, hand comes down. Now, as you guys are doing this, if you would like me to come over and look to, give you some cues or see if you're doing this correctly, just pop your hand up and I will come over. I'm going to spend just a couple more moments here. And let's do 2 more breaths. So now that you kind of have the pattern here, we're going to shift our attention or our focus to your pelvic floor, okay? This might be a time where you might want to bend your knees, play around with it, bend them, keep them straight, see what works for you. I personally like my knees bent so I can just feel it a little bit better. But keeping with the diaphragmatic breath, so inhaling, belly goes up, exhaling, belly comes down, I want you to shift your attention to your pelvic floor area, okay? Mobility or movement in your pelvic floor looks like a change in pressure, okay? So when you inhale, you should feel belly go up, pelvic floor is moving down towards your feet, and you should feel a little bit more pressure in that area. And then on the exhale, belly comes down towards the ground, pelvic floor comes up, back up towards your head, and you should feel a little less pressure. Okay? Now don't feel like you need to feel a very big change all at once. You might do this exercise today and not feel much pressure change at all. That's okay, because I want you to think about this breathing as like a practice, just like yoga. You're never going to be perfect at it. You're always practicing to improve and to feel more confident with it. Now, sometimes people feel more of that pressure change to the front, closer to the vagina area, and sometimes people feel it more towards the back. Either position or any place is appropriate. It's all part of your pelvic floor. Okay. Let's do 3 more breaths here, and then we're gonna change positions and try the breathing in a different position. And after your next exhale, we're gonna slowly make our way up to seating. So if you wanna roll to your side and sit up, that is perfect. Okay. Just curious, show of hands, was anyone able to feel a pressure change around their pelvic floor area while they're laying down? Yeah, okay, great. A little bit. That's awesome. That's awesome. It is very subtle. It's not a big like punch in the gut kind of feeling. So that's great. This position, I think you might feel it even a little bit more. You can also do this at home, like sitting on an exercise ball. That would be my preferred position, just because it's very mobile, okay? So, but we're gonna try it in seating. So what I want you to do is kind of take a butt cheek spread it out, take your other one, spread it out. So you're trying to get as much surface of your pelvic floor touching the ground as possible, okay? This is where you might feel it kind of more towards your butt, and that's totally fine. Okay, so now with the diaphragmatic breathing, just how we did. Instead of going up and down, it's going out, okay? So on your inhale, your belly is coming out. You won't feel like you can breathe as deeply, that's okay. But your pelvic floor is going down into the floor on your inhale. And then exhale, belly comes back in, and then pelvic floor comes up away from the floor, okay? Because the floor is a harder surface, you might feel that change in pressure a little bit easier in this position. And then like I said, if you're at home like on an exercise ball, that's a really nice exercise to try too, okay? Good. Let's do 2 more breaths here. So we were working on diaphragmatic breathing, that main muscle, and we're focusing mostly on forward and backwards. But our rib cage expands 360 degrees around. It needs to move in all directions. And wrap it around your ribs like so, okay? It doesn't have to be super tight, just tight enough where you can feel some resistance. Yeah, then if you cross it kind of in front, there you go. Perfect. And then I want you holding the edges here, okay, because it's going to move. So hold the ends here. Yep. There you go. Perfect. So as we inhale, wherever you feel that band, which is 360 degrees around, I want you to think about pushing your ribs into the band. So inhale, push into that band, and then on your exhale, control the recoil so it doesn't just snap you back, okay? So the band's giving just a tiny, tiny bit of resistance to open, expand your rib cage, and then control that expansion or that recoil back, okay? So you should feel this in your back, you should feel this on your sides, and in the front, all right? While you're doing this, I'm just going to kind of put in a tidbit of why I think breath is so important to the pelvic floor. Not only because of the piston relationship of the diaphragm and the pelvic floor, but like I talked about earlier with the central nervous system just being heightened in so many of our lives, which is the hustle and bustle and things, and especially if you're on this infertility journey, that can be really, really stressful. And breathing is a way to help kind of dampen that central nervous system, and then that just has a positive cascade of events trickling down. Okay, let's do 2 more here. And if you can breathe better, you can your whole body can function better. So this is really allowing you to get good rib expansion and a good breath in and out. Okay, cool. Good. All right, we can toss that one to the side. So we're going to get into a couple exercises that help with pelvic floor tension. A lot of the people that I see think I must have a weak pelvic floor because I pee my pants or I have pain with penetration or whatever. And most of the time, I would say probably 80% of the times, it's the opposite. It's a pelvic floor is too hypertonic. It's too on all the time. It doesn't know how to relax. Doesn't know how to move. Okay. So we're going to take a couple moments with a couple exercises to help with muscle tension release, all right? So I want everyone to come onto hands and knees. If this bothers your knees, we can get you a pad or something, just pop your hand up and we'll do that, okay? So let's do the left side first, okay? So I'm gonna mirror you. So you're gonna kick your left leg out to the side. Yeah, we'll go the same direction so we don't kick each other. I don't care what happens with your feet, if they're pointed forward, up, or to the side, whatever is comfortable for you, okay? Your back toe is untucked. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rock back, so you're gonna sit back onto your foot. You should feel stretch in your adductors over here, okay? If you can't go all the way to your foot, don't. Just go wherever is comfortable for you, okay? And then you're gonna rock forward, all right? So keep your hands planted and you're just rocking back and forth. Now, we just did some breath work, so we're gonna tie this in with our breath. So when you walk back, I want you to inhale, let your belly relax, drop towards the floor, pelvic floor is relaxed, and then when you're ready to exhale, come forward, back into starting position, okay? This should not hurt, you guys, so if it's painful, don't rock as far, like lessen your range of motion. You can even put a little bolster back here so you have a little area to sit down, okay? Let's do 6 more on each side. On this side, then we'll switch sides. Yep. Tying that breath in is really important. It's just another position to help your pelvic floor relax. Good. Everyone feel okay with this one? After your 6th one, let's go ahead and switch sides. So now everyone's just a little different one because we have a different breath pace. Okay, so once you're in this position, back toes are untucked. You're gonna inhale, rock back, let your pelvic floor relax, belly goes down towards the ground. Exhale, come forward. Inhale. Now this is a really important exercise because your adductors, your muscles on the inside of your thighs, connect directly to your pelvis bone. So if your adductors are tight, that can be playing a role in pelvic, hip pain, pelvic floor pain. You want to look at the muscles surrounding the pelvic floor as well. 2 more here. Last one, come back into hands and knees. Good, okay, so we're gonna keep going with this tension release. So you're gonna grab your block next, you're gonna put it under one of your knees. I'm gonna show this to you first and then we can do it. So when you put your block under your knee, you're gonna shift your weight over to that side that the block is on, okay? So let me show you just from behind what it looks like. You're gonna be here and then shift over. Your knee is still on the ground though, okay? From there, once you get that shift over, then we're just gonna go into cat and cow, okay? If someone hasn't done cat and cow, we're gonna go over it. So with cow, you're gonna just think about creating a little dip in your low back, looking up. This is where your inhale, okay? Your belly's going towards the ground, inhaling. And then cat, you're going to start rounding your back. Exhale, pull that belly up towards your spine or the ceiling. And then you just go with your breath. Inhale, come into cow, let the belly drop, look up. Exhale, start to pull your belly up, round your back. Okay, and as you go in between cat and cow, assess, are you still shifted over towards that block? Sometimes we'll kind of squeak back over. So by doing this, kind of elevating one of your hips, you're mobilizing whatever hip is on, or whatever knee is on the block right now, okay? Because our pelvis bone is made up of 2 bones, so we want to be able to move each of them a little bit independently of each other. Good. Let's do 2 more here, and then we're going to switch sides.
So Mandy, if I don't have a block at home, what can I use to do this at home if I don't have a block?
Good question. You can use anything. You can take a couple blankets, fold them up. You can take a big book if you have like a cookbook, or a Bible, I guess, if that's not against your religion. But yeah, anything that's 2 or 3 inches high is great. Good question. Okay.
And the tendency to, like, you straighten up after you come into the cat.
Yes.
Instead
of keeping that shift. Yep. So it is a little, you have to fight against that. Yep, you should try to keep your weight shifted towards that side. Yep. And you might feel it in your glutes a little bit too. That's fine. Your glutes on that side are working to keep you shifted over. Yep. Good. Okay, let's switch sides. So bring your block over to your other side. once you get kind of in position, do your shift, and then into cow, belly floats down, head is up, you're inhaling, cat, exhale, pull that belly up towards your spine, around your back, good. Yep. And if you find while you're doing this, you're unshifting, you might think about lowering how high your block is if you keep going away from it. Like the block that I'm using right now is definitely higher than the block I normally use. And I would say I probably would lower it down a little bit just so I can stay in this shifting position. It also kind of depends on your leg length as well. I've got some short legs, so. So if you hadn't noticed the theme with the breath, the inhale with the cow and the exhale with the cat. And something I'm gonna make a note with, I'm gonna use you as an example. If your guys' knees are not in line, I want you to try to bring it in line, okay? If it's not in line, then we kind of get a forward rotation on one side and a backwards rotation on the other. So try to keep it in line if you can. If it's uncomfortable, then you can always modify it. Okay. Good. Let's do 2 more here. Okay. So the next 3 are going to be really about mobilizing and opening different areas of the pelvis itself. So remember, we have muscles connected. I mean, I don't have any of the external muscles here. This is just the pelvic floor, but you have muscles connecting all over to your pelvis. So we want to stretch that insertion from the muscle to the bone as well. And we can do that by opening the pelvis, okay? So we have kind of 3 areas of the pelvis that we want open. This becomes really fun, I would say, to do with my pregnant patients because at the beginning we want kind of the top part of the pelvis to open to allow for baby to descend, and then we want to work on the middle, and then when it's closer to delivery day we want to really work on the bottom of the pelvis opening. So it's never too early or too late to work on opening the pelvis, okay? So the first one we're going to do is rock back. So you're going to be in the same position, knees about hip width, maybe slightly less, and then you're going to put your feet out kind of like a W, and then you're going to sit back as you inhale. Now be careful, go slow with this. This can hurt some people's knees if you go too far. And then exhale, come forward, okay? The reason why it can hurt some people's knees is because when we bring our feet out, this is internal rotation that's coming from the hip, and that's putting a lot of stress on the knee. So a little goes a long way, okay? And if bringing both of your feet out is too much, you can try one at a time. So bring one out, rock back. Exhale as you come forward. Bring your other one out, rock back. Bring your next one forward with your exhale, okay? So none of these exercises, you guys, is a black and white. There's a lot of fluidity between it. There's so many modifications and progressions that you can do. Do what feels good to your body. If something doesn't feel good, stop or modify it. Yeah, let's do 3 more rocks. You guys are doing really good. I'm always impressed with people's ability to rock back so far with this, I think because I can't rock back very far, but you guys are doing amazing. It looks great. Yes. Good. Okay. We're going to come up into a half kneeling position like so. So if you put one of your knees about in the middle of your mat and your other foot just directly on the outside, so we're at about a 45-degree angle. Give or take, okay? You at home, you can use a weight with this. We don't have enough heavier weights to do this. So maybe like a 10 or 15 pound weight would be fine, but you don't need one if you don't have one. what you're gonna do is you're going to lean into your knee, okay, as you inhale, and then exhale, rock back. All right, so this is kind of a twofold exercise. This is getting some external rotation in this leg that's up, and then we're also getting a little bit of an adductor stretch of that leg that's down. Some people will feel an adductor stretch in this leg that's up, totally fine. Okay, it just kind of depends on what your muscle tension is like. There you go. Yep. And the reason why I like having the weight is because it keeps you up, and then it helps just take you over a little bit easier. Let's do 3 more. It's good ankle mobility one too, so triple threat there. Good. One more, and then we'll switch sides. Very good. Okay, you throw you down. Now, if you feel like wherever your foot is placed is too much, you can bring it in. If you want a little bit more, you can bring it out as well. Whatever feels comfortable for you. And what most people will say is, oh, this side feels harder, or this side is tighter. Totally normal. I have yet to meet a symmetrical human, so that's totally fine. Just something to take inventory of and note, hey, will it be like this tomorrow? Does it feel any different next week? No right or wrong way to feel stretches and muscle engagement. Unless it hurts, that's not right. Let's do 2 more. Okay. After your last one, we're going to come down onto the ground. I saved the best one for last. This is my favorite one. So I want everyone to try to sit into cheerleader pose position. That's what I call, like this. If you need your blocks, this is, keep it handy, keep it nearby. So right now, whatever leg is out in front, that leg is in external rotation, and then your other leg is in internal rotation. A lot of times with this exercise, people will feel more in the internally rotated hip, kind of deep in the joint area. That's where you want to feel it, okay? From here, if you have a block, you can put it on the side of your leg that's in front, okay? If you don't, you can just put your hand on the ground, it's fine too. You're gonna take that left arm, and you're gonna reach over as you inhale, and then as you exhale, I want you to unwind, come to the other side, and bring that arm over. Okay, inhale, and then exhale. Now this one, it's not as important like, oh, I exhaled on this way or that way. Just inhale one way and exhale the other way. So you're moving slowly and intentionally with your breath, okay? Let's do one more. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little extra, kind of level up. So put your hand on your block. This time when you inhale and stretch over, I want you to try to lift your hips, booty up off the ground, and come back down. Okay? So push into that block if you need. Come up to your knees. There you go. Awesome, guys. And then come back down. Good. Yeah? Good. So we're getting some glute activation in here. Let's do 3 more. And last one. Very good. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. So bring your block over, switch your legs. Okay, let's start just nice and easy. Reaching over towards the block. And then hand comes to the opposite side, reaching over that way. Let's do 2 more here, and then we'll block. We're going to lift as we inhale and reach. Very good. And then come back down. Inhale, lift and reach. Come back down. If you ever have knee pain or it bothers your knee pushing into the ground, you can always put a little towel or a pillow under to give a little extra padding. Okay. Good. 2 more here. Last one. Very good. Okay. Get rid of your block, just come into comfortable position. So we kind of went through the breath, we went through some muscle tension releasing, and we went through some pelvic bony landmark openings. So I'm going to pass the torch over to Deborah, who's going to take us through a couple exercises and meditation. I think that'll be really good to wrap things up. I just like to say this also when it comes to physical activity, especially with this workshop being about, balance and creating, harmony in your body. Look at your exercise regimen, and if you feel like you're doing, the same type of exercise, like I only come to yoga, or I only do cardio, I only run, I only do HIIT, I would encourage you to maybe try to expand so that you're getting a little bit of everything, because your body needs strength and resilience. It also needs mobility and balance, and it needs that cardio endurance aspect too. So that is a nice way to just bring balance to your body in the physical activity aspect. Okay, so I will pass things over to you.
Okay, great. I'm excited to be here this morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. And Mandy, thanks for inviting me. It's great to be here. I'm especially excited with the focus on the breath. And I'll just tell you, my name is Deborah, and my yoga journey started here at Bella 7 years ago. I lived upstairs in the apartment, and I had known Stephanie from before in other venues of life. And when I moved upstairs, I was in a really dark, scary time of my life. It was a really healing place for me. And then I found out, from Stephanie, she was opening a Bella or a yoga studio downstairs. And I was like most people think, yoga is yet another way to practice a physical exercise program. And I thought, I go to the gym, but I think I'll try this yoga. I've never tried it. And from the very first time that I went to the beginning sessions, I felt such a difference. And it wasn't just you feel good when you go to the gym, you move your body, you feel good about the fact that you did it. But this was different. So I was really excited and just wanted to continue in that. So I did. I stayed in the program here at Bella, and then the pandemic came and went, so we were in and out of the studio, not much. Then we came back to the studio, and then Stephanie was advertising that she was going to offer a 200-hour yoga teacher training program. And I thought, I'm not sure I want to teach, but so I talked to her about it, and she said, even if you think you're not going to teach, do it for your own personal growth. It will be surprising to you. So I signed up we were 12 people doing the 200-hour program, and 8 of us went on to do the 300 and added 2 more women. And when we get together now and talk about our history, our yoga journey, we are still amazed at the transformation in all of us, really. So yoga, the idea of yoga is unity. So unity in your body, your mind, and your spirit. So it really encompasses everything about you. So I would encourage all of you to, I don't know how much yoga practice you all have had, but I would encourage all of you, and especially the breath is just so important to us. So that's me. That's a little bit about my yoga journey and why I'm here, because I just love sharing the benefits of it and really just love to do that. So what I'll do today is, actually I better get my glasses my notes. But I will just lead us through a few more very gentle, before I do that, I want to tell you something about a little product, because we've been talking so much about the breath. And when we were doing our Ayurvedic studies in our training, one of the things that they taught us was about our daily rituals, self-care practices. And so I have this nasal oil called NASA oil. It's available online from Banyan. But just like 3 drops in each nostril every morning, or swab with a cotton swab. And it really, especially this time of year, when the air is so dry, so when you're practicing deep breathing, it might just make you a little bit more comfortable if you want to try that. I just thought of it this morning when I was doing my little self-care practice, and I thought, let me tell these ladies about this oil, because it's really, I think it's really beneficial. And so what I'm going to do is I'll center us before we move into this gentle movement practice. And then after that, I will guide us into a guided meditation for just to relax completely, to breathe into that relaxation. And you'll just listen to my voice. I'll do what's called a body scan. I'll help you to relax every part of your body. And then we'll have a period of quiet for a little bit, and just breathe into that, relax, let everything release. And then I'll bring you out of that with my voice, and then we'll close. So the first thing I want us to do is just come to a nice, I do want to say this though. When we get ready for the meditation part, you may want to have a blanket. So if you do, just let us know, and we'll just have a short little break before that, so that everybody can get super comfortable. And when you get comfortable, I want you to think about how you might be just 2% more comfortable. So really just get into it and enjoy it very much. So let's start in an easy seated position. And just like Mandy was instructing, you just, pull your butt cheeks out a little bit and make sure that your sit bones are really grounded on the mat. And start to just relax and breathe into that position. Maybe let your gaze lower, or even close your eyes. And placing a hand on your belly, a hand on your heart. And we'll take several full deep breaths in. And then we'll let our breath go to its normal pattern. Each of us has a different normal pattern. But first, let's take one big deep breath in. Feeling your belly push out and expand, filling your belly with air, filling your rib cage, your heart space with air. Maybe holding at the top just for a moment. And then sigh it out. Feeling your navel draw back towards your spine, releasing all that air. Hold that just for a moment. And breathing in deeply, filling your belly, your rib cage, your heart space. Holding at the top. And sighing all the breath out. Holding at the bottom. Expanding and filling your belly again. Let the crown of your head reach toward the sky. Your spine is straight. Breathing in fully. And exhaling completely. Feeling your navel draw back toward your spine. Now just let your breath come into its natural rhythm. And keep focused on your breath, coming in and out. Noticing how the air is cool coming in through your nostrils. And warmer as you exhale through your nose. And at any time, seated by a lovely little river, and those thoughts just fall down like leaves on the river and float away. So keep breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, releasing, letting everything relax. Now bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let your chin drop, stretching the back of your neck. And then let your chin just go gently side to side so that your neck is soft. Bring your chin back to center and lift your gaze. And set in your mind an intention for your practice today, whatever that might be for you. And if you don't think of anything, that's fine too. We want to be intentional about our self-practice and our health and live in these beautiful bodies. Just take another deep breath. And exhale, and as you exhale, let your eyes flutter open, and we're going to start doing some gentle movement now. We will begin by just doing some really just gentle, keeping our hips grounded on the mat, just doing little tiny torso circles, just tiny, keeping your hips grounded. Just very tiny, breathing into that movement, breathing out, going one direction, and then reverse, leaving yourself out, going the other direction, breathing in, breathing out. Make sure your crown is lifted, your spine is straight. You can feel your breath moving up and down. Now come back to center, and we're going to make those circles bigger. And as Mandy said before, just listen to your body, whatever feels good for you. Maybe inhaling as we come up, and exhaling as we bend forward, making bigger circles or smaller circles. And then going in the other direction. Listen to your body. Breathe into the movement. Now come back to center. Let your spine lengthen, your crown is lifting toward the sky. And bring your fingers up, fingertips stretching toward the sky, filling your belly with air. And then when you're in this position, drop your shoulders. Just relax your shoulders a little bit away from your ears. Breathe in deeply and exhale. Bring your fingertips down to the floor as you exhale fully. And then up, breathing in and down. Even sigh it out through your mouth and up, in through your nose. And exhale down. Now on our next inhale, we're going to bring our fingertips all the way up to the ceiling again. This time bring your left hand down to your right knee. Bring your right hand, your fingertips back behind you. Just check that your spine is lengthened and that your crown is lifting as you inhale. Lengthen a little bit more, and as you exhale, maybe twist just a little bit deeper. Whatever feels good for your body. Listen to your body. Don't force. You might even like to look over your right shoulder if that feels good to you. Take another deep breath in. Stretching up. And exhale, twist just a little deeper. Inhale one more time. lengthening. And exhale, stretching, twisting into that twist. And our next inhale, inhale all the way up. Fingertips reaching toward the sky. Take a breath there. Now bring your right hand down to your left knee, left arm back, fingertips resting on the floor. Stretching up through your spine, through the crown of your head. Inhaling deeply. As we exhale, twist just a little deeper. Listening to your body. What feels good? Can you glance over your left shoulder? Inhale, stretching up, extending. Exhale, twist just a little deeper. And inhale all the way up, fingertips reaching. Maybe wiggle your fingers, let your shoulders drop again, feel that sensation. And come all the way down. And now we'll do, let's see where I am. Twists, and now we'll, okay, let's keep our seated position. Inhale up again. Now this time, as you exhale, just hinge toward the front from your waist. Slide your fingers up the mat as far as it feels comfortable to you. Keep your tailbone tucked and your hips on your mat. Your gaze should be straight down at the mat. Breathing in, do a full belly breath there, and then as you exhale, maybe you can extend and melt just a little deeper. One more inhale here. And stretch down, melt down just a little deeper with your exhale. And then walk your hands back to your torso gently. Come into your seated position again, take a nice breath. Now let's put your, slide your feet out in front of you with the soles of your feet together. And listen to your body, whatever feels good for you. This is called butterfly. Probably if you practice yoga or even in any kind of exercise, you learn this one. It stretches. It feels good. Rock back and forth a little bit. Take a nice breath there. And then you can move your feet up toward the front of the mat a little bit and scoop your arms under and bend from the waist. Exhaling as you come down with your gaze down at your feet. As far as you feel comfortable, exhaling and really breathing into that stretch. Unwind, inhale up again, and we'll come into our tabletop that we were in before with Mandy. And we'll do some cat-cows. When you get into the tabletop, just see how your body feels, and maybe just sway your hips from side to side a little bit. Just releasing any tension there. Now do your cat-cows at your own pace. Inhaling, lifting your chin, lifting your gaze, and then exhaling, arching your back, engaging your core, really being strong in your arms. Your knees are solid on the mat. Your fingers are stretching and solid. Your arms are, so we're like a good, strong table. Then inhale for cow. Let your belly drop. Let your belly fill with air. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. So doing it at your own pace. Do 3 more of those cat-cows. Now sway your hips from side to side. And bring your hips all the way down to your ankles, back, push back down to the right or to the left, whichever direction you want to go. And swing back up, inhaling, and swing down as you exhale. And up, inhaling, and then swoop back down for another circle, inhaling as you come up. Now go in the opposite direction. Swing down to the left, exhaling, and up, inhale, and down. Swing over to the right, up. Inhaling one more time, down, exhaling, and up. Move your hips from side to side if that feels good to kind of reset. Now we're going to, you might want a block for this, I'm not sure, but we're going to go into pigeon pose. And sometimes in that pose you can use a block to elevate your hip when you get into it. And what we'll do is we're going to come into it from tabletop. So first we'll do some leg extensions, and then on the third one, we'll pull our knee up toward our right wrist and our right foot over toward the left. So let's do these extensions first, and then we'll rest for a few minutes in pigeon. So lift your right, or push your right foot back. Your heel is reaching toward the back. And then engage your core, lift your right foot, and then as you exhale, bring your right knee towards your right elbow. Breathing into it, and then exhale, extend. Bring it to the elbow, extend. Bring it to the elbow, extend. Now this time as you bring it forward, bring your right knee toward your right wrist. And then take a glance back at your left leg. Just kind of shimmy your left leg back. Make sure it's aligned straight. Keep your arms, keep your torso lifted. And then really get deeper into that by moving your left leg down and straight out as far as you can, as far as feels comfortable. So we're all still lifted. And when you feel good and solid in that position, you can come down to your forearms and see how that feels in your body. Breathing. Now this is when the block might come in handy. If you want to put the block under your hip bone. So you can come down to your forearms, or you can come all the way down with your forehead resting on your forearms. And then just deep breathe into that position. Breathing in fully. Exhaling and letting everything relax. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just feeling that stretch. Feeling the release. Breathing in. Breathing in. And breathing out. One more nice deep breath here. And as you exhale, push yourself up onto your hands. Tuck your left toe and let your right leg come back. Come back to our tabletop position, and now we'll do the other side. So take your left foot back, your heel is reaching, your toes are tucked. Just stretch for a moment there. Then lift your left foot is flexed, engage your core, and bring your knee forward to your elbow, and extend. Bring your knee forward, extend, knee forward, and extend. Now bring your left knee toward your left wrist. Take your foot over toward the right. Then check your right foot, your right leg rather. a mat if that's available to you. With your forehead on your forearms stacked. And breathe into this pose. As you exhale, maybe you can melt a little deeper. As you inhale, stretching just a little. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. Now on your next inhale, gently bring yourself up. Unwind out of your pigeon pose. Move your hips from side to side, come on our tabletop. And then bring your knees as wide as your mat. And push yourself back into child's pose. Sitting on your heels if that's available, and then just stretching your fingertips toward the front of your mat. Gaze is straight down. If you like, you can put your forehead down and maybe just roll your head gently side to side. Breathing into that child's pose, breathing into the back body. Filling your belly. And then exhaling and maybe melting just a little deeper down into the mat. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up to tabletop and then swing around into a seated position. And we'll get ready to become really comfortable and do our savasana and our meditation. So if anybody needs a blanket for this, sometimes you want to get really cozy, just say, we'll go get some blankets for you. Maybe lots of blankets. Yeah, it feels really good to get cozy.
Sarah, you're not practicing. You're the technical person. What? Need a blanket?
Thank you. Sure. Anyone else? Blanket? You guys want this? One more.
Okay.
And anyone want a bolster or anything?
Oh, you need to get one of these two.
Okay. Anyone want a bolster?
Yeah.
Here, thank you. Yep.
It's like,
Everybody have a blanket that needs one?
this one goes.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Emily's right now. Can I have that one?
Yes.
I just wanna show you, we can, if you want, you can just lay on, just lay flat on your back, however you're comfortable, and just let take up space on your mat, let your ankles just roll out, and your knees roll out. And if you want, you can put a bolster right at the base of at the small of your back. And you can just let yourself relax over that. If you feel like you'll be comfortable doing that, that's an option. Or just getting comfortable under your blanket, starting to focus again on our breath. Breathing in and breathing out, and at any time thoughts come in, and just let them float away on that little river that we're seeing in front of us. Just be peaceful and know that thoughts will come in. Bring your attention, maybe put your hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. Bring your attention to your breath. Imagine it coming in through your nostrils, maybe filling your body with light. relax your jaw. Make sure your tongue is not glued to the roof of your mouth, but just relaxed in your mouth. Maybe the tip of your tongue can rest on your teeth, your front teeth there. Keep breathing. Your neck is soft and relaxed and released. Take your attention to your shoulders. Let them melt into the mat as you breathe deeply into that surrender. Your upper arms are surrendered, loose, and relaxed. Your elbows are released. Your forearms are just melting, relaxing. Palms of your hands are open, relaxed, all the way out to your fingers, letting that stress just flow out as you exhale. Take your attention to your heart space, your rib cage, allowing surrender there. To your lower back, letting it release even more into the mat, into the ground. Following your breath in and out. Your hips are heavy and grounded into the earth, into the mat. Your upper thighs are released. Backs of your thighs relaxed, melting down, grounding. Your knees are relaxed and released. Your shins and calves, everything melting, releasing, grounding into the mat. Your ankles are supple and released. The arches of your shoulders are squeezed back a little bit and squeeze. Feel that tension, bring it all tight, and then